نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم من تشبه بقوم فهو من فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال الله عز وجل في شأن حبيبه مخبرا وآمرا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا سيدي يا حبيب الله. My honorable audience, I'm addressing this question of the permissibility of celebration of Valentine's Day within Islam. Is it permissible or is it not permissible? To answer this question, we firstly look at the origins of this celebration. The origins of the celebration are actually entrenched in a pagan festival which took place in Rome. There was an order of pagan priests in Rome called the Luperci, and they used to enact a celebration called Lupercalia, and this was in commemoration of the pagan god of agriculture, and whose name was Faunus. And what these priests would do in the middle of February, around the 15th of February, they would take a dog, they would take a goat, they would sacrifice these two animals, the goat representing fertility, the sacrifice of the dog representing purity. They would then strip the skin, the hide off the goat, they would cut it into strips, they would dip it into the sacrificial blood, they would go out into the streets of Rome, and they would gently slap the girls and women of Rome and fields of crops with this goat skin dipped in the sacrificial blood. The women welcomed this because they believed that this act made them more fertile in the coming year. What then happened later that day is that all the names of the single girls in Rome would be gathered, written on pieces of paper, gathered, put into a huge urn, and their names would be drawn like out of a lotto, and they would be paired with men and young men in Rome who would then be together for the next year, and sometimes that relationship of being together resulted in marriage. More often than not, it didn't. However, from this alone we can see there are a number of issues. First of all, this is a celebration of a pagan god. So as Muslims, if we engage in this practice, this is shirk. Shirk is something which takes us out of the fold of Islam and is unforgivable by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second problem with this is that this celebration of where the men and women would be paired, this is actually promoting relationships outside of marriage and is actually promoting zina. Again, something which is qat'an haram. The Prophet ﷺ said that zina breaks the foundations. Foundations of what? Well, foundations of an individual, the foundations of a family, the foundations of a community, the foundations of a nation where zina takes place and occurs. Furthermore, the other legend is that the celebration of Valentine's Day was, there was an attempted Christianization of this pagan festival of Lupercalia, and where the Christians then celebrated their priest, who was known as Valentine, who was later given the status of sainthood. There was a Roman emperor, Claudius II, who outlawed marriage for young men because he believed that single young men made better soldiers than those men who were married with families. There was a priest by the name of Valentine who would secretly have young men married in private without the emperor knowing. When the emperor found out, he sentenced him to death, and he executed this priest Valentine. He later received sainthood, and in commemoration and celebration of him and his so-called romantic acts of bringing young men and women together, the celebration of Valentine's Day took place. Modern day Valentine's Day celebration is problematic because, again, it's not just the sort of religious or pagan connotations of this, which most people in today's society don't even know or understand, but it's the philosophy on what it's based on. It is based on the promotion of vulgarity. It is promoting extramarital relationships, zina, so on and so forth. You don't need me here to sit and explain what Valentine's Day represents today and what takes place, the parties and the social, so-called social activities which take place in the with the label of celebration of Valentine's Day. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this. May it protect the ummah, our youngsters, our women, our men, our young girls, our young boys, and our future ummah from this vile celebration of Valentine's Day. Remember, love is entrenched in the DNA of every mu'min. Love is the message of Deen. It is the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who is the beloved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Deen al-Islam is the deen of love, is the deen of peace. We don't need any day to represent and to enact love. Every day is a day of love in Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. And in answer to the question, it is not permissible to celebrate Valentine's Day in Islam. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.